I was inspired by Canada's 150th, and I wanted to do something that engaged my students geographically, history skills, and so I came up with the idea of also getting them to interview someone older than themselves, 30 years older in this case, so that they would have a kind of a generational aspect to it. So it was open to the students of whatever they wanted to cover that would tie back to Canada's 150, Canada's history. We used the historical thinking concepts prior to. The students used their significance or perspective, cause and consequence, and ethical issues as well. And then looked at primary documents once they selected their topic and did their inquiry question, then went through the research piece and finally piecing it together. And the thing I really I'm so thrilled about is that the kids really rose to the challenge. It's not an easy project to do well, and those that did do well really showed their thinking, showed their inspired inquiry, and it showed in their end products. What was neat was they were making those personal connections, in some cases to family members that they had to reach out to find out more about their family history. In one case, one of my students, her great-grandfather had passed recently, and the grandmother was going through his suitcase and found out some papers about his immigration to Canada, which is what the start of her project was. Why did my family come to Canada? And upon going through this suitcase, I find out after she had to translate a couple of letters that were in German, find out that he was actually a spy for Bulgaria during World War II. When you really see students get it, if you take them on the tour to the battlefields of Europe and you offer them that opportunity, and they're standing beside a grave of a 15-year-old, and they said, "Miss Ruest, could you please take my picture?" And the kid, a 15-year-old boy, and he's tears in his eyes. And I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, and he pointed and he said, "Look, he's my age." He gets it. Yeah. He gets history. He gets the sacrifices that were made for our country. Same student, when we're at Vimy and had the tour of the Vimy Monument, and they're giving us the medals, the replica medals, the Pilgrimage Award medals, and he stood there with his hand out. And I looked at him, I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "I don't deserve this. I've done nothing." He got history. He got Canada's role in the world and his role so far. And maybe that will inspire him to do more. The part that really was exciting for me was seeing the excitement for them. And it wasn't book learning, it was personal connections to history and our country.